Good evening, televiewers. Welcome to this other edition of Prime Hour on My Media Prime, Tuesday edition dedicated to discussing issues touching on our relationships and our marriage lives for couples and those in courtship. We don't endorse boyfriend, girlfriend here. So we are talking about you who is in a courtship and you who is married. Today we're focusing on what you should consider before saying yes I do to a man or to a woman. What are those things that you people must work on, agree on, before even starting this journey of marriage as a man and a woman? And if time permits, we also are going to be answering the question as to whether it is possible to ignore red flags during courtship and then fix them as married couples. Can you change a man or a woman in marriage, or you cut it before even getting into the relationship, which is definitely marriage? We are discussing this with our regular panelists who are in the studio with me. Apostle Ambe Valentine is a permanent consultant, but he is also the national president of the Cameroon Pentecostal movement. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Good evening, Cameroonians. Welcome to this wonderful edition. We are going to be discussing very sensitive issue today, which says what you have to do before you say I do. What you have to do.
Yes.
Not what you have to consider. What you have to do before you say I do.
Okay. We also in the company of Apostle Alfred Esingie, who is an expert on issues of marriage and relationship, but he is also the Secretary General of the Cameroon Pentecostal movement. Good evening, Apostle, and welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Leo, and good evening, fellow people out there watching us every time. We want to thank you for making time out to make this program a wonderful one, because we have a lot of feedback concerning what you do and how you've been going on with our program. We also want to thank Mr. Leo for the great job he's doing in this place. Apostle Ambe is here, Apostle Lefor is here, and Madame fORTINGLET. I greet you then. Madame Asanji is also in Bamenda. We greet you and we say congratulations for your newly acquired MBA. We'll be talking about that more.
Okay. We also are in the company of Apostle Lefor Divine. They call him the Love Doctor, all the way from Boya, Southwest Regional Capital. We're glad to have you once again.
Yeah, it's an honor. Thank you, Mr. Leo. Thank you for having me, and I want to celebrate all my fellow panelists. It's always an honor to be amongst great minds. I'm very much honored, and I want to greet all the viewers of my Media Prime and all those who have been looking forward to this time. Yes, it's been a while. Unfortunately, I was not there on the 14th of February. The traffic did not allow me to get here, but I'm here today. So I'm glad. It's an honor. Thank you so much.
Madame fORTINGLET is here with us. They also call her Ngwe. We're glad to have you always present these days.
Thank you, Mr. Kum. It's always a pleasure to be around, to be in the midst of very sound-minded people, personalities of this nation. It's another day we are going to be looking at pertinent issues that concern our marriages or relationships. Why it is very important we always look at this, because that is where it begins before it goes to the society. So just stay tuned as we move along.
We also are going to be having contributions from Bamenda through Ms. Asanji Ifet, who is an expert in this domain. We are using this opportunity also to celebrate and congratulate her for her acquisition of a new status in life. She now is a holder of an MBA degree, and we hope that you are not going to settle for that. We pray that in the next coming years, we once again are going to be celebrating you as a doctor in whatever domain you've chosen to impact our lives, like you are doing in this domain of relationship. Apostle Ambe Valentine Ngwa, we're talking about things that every couple should discuss before getting into relationship. Love is so awesome, especially when after years of wondering whether you ever meet the person you can call the one, you finally do it. But before you start shopping for a wedding dress, or you even choose a wedding date, there are a few conversations that every couple should first value and look into it. The way you can be confident you're both going into your marriage with a true understanding of the other's hopes and desires, which will make for a genuine marriage and not just a wedding. Yes, Apostle Ambe, I wanted to read this: genuine marriage and not just a wedding. Mm-hmm. Yes, what is the difference?
Yeah, genuine marriage is different from a wedding, because a wedding is an event. Mm-hmm. Marriage is a lifetime experience. As a matter of fact, a wedding takes place in a day, probably a week.